Have you ever been in a group conversation and there's somebody in the group who has the amazing ability to talk for hours on end without once using their brain? They'll just keep talking and talking and talking and never once slow down to engage their thinking cap. I recently got stuck in such a conversation, and it was shortly after I had first read this gospel passage in preparation for this homily. And like a thunderbolt, a line from the passage spoke to me. It was as if Jesus was in the room, and he said, "What did you go out to the desert to see?" At first it was humorous. I had to conceal my internal smirk. But over the course of the evening, it led to a deep introspection. I was forced to wrestle with why I was at this event. Why was I torturing myself with this conversation? What were my motivations? What truly was the reason I was there? As a result of this internal struggle, I came to some edifying conclusions, and I ended up grateful that I had been in attendance, even though there was one person who was seriously grating on my nerves. Thinking about this, I think it would be good for all of us to go through that same process in regards to our mass attendance. In fact, if I could be so bold, it seems to me that that is what Jesus is asking of us today. What did we come here today to see? We've seen more people recently finally coming back after a long absence from the pandemic. And many of you, have been here for quite a while. But I think for all of us, are we really confident of what has drawn us here? Do we know deep in our hearts what we are seeking when we get here? Now, there are some good answers and there are some bad answers to these questions. I know many of us come to have our souls uplifted and to receive grace, and that's a good and wonderful thing. But I think sometimes we too often trivialize that into wanting to just be entertained. Most of us come to receive the Eucharist, and again, that is a wonderful thing. But I have definitely seen that trivialized into some sort of magic cookie. Other times we come to grow in holiness. Yet I think we too often recoil when that call to holiness challenges us. We would prefer to have heard empty platitudes that would maintain the illusion of holiness, even if we aren't close to Christ. And then, of course, there's the joy of coming together with this community. Yet how often are our interactions with them no more than superficial? So then why are we here? What is calling us to this place? And I have spent a great time since I opened this passage reflecting on that. And after long debate with myself, I've come to a simple answer. Now, this answer might be simple, but the ramifications of the answer are not. In fact, they're quite complex, and they will lead each of us in different directions. But perhaps, particularly for those of us who are struggling to even get a start on this question of why we are here, the simple will help get us on the journey to understand the complex. We are here to be in relationship with God, to be in relationship with our Creator, to be in relationship with our Redeemer, to be in relationship with our Sanctifier. Just like we have people in our lives that we cherish, that every time we get together with them, our souls are uplifted and we grow in a person, deep in our hearts, we know that a good relationship with God can give us the most profound and meaningful version of the gifts we can get from a good relationship. And so we come deeply desiring relationship with our God who loves us. This is why we are here. I'd like to conclude by sharing one of the edifying conclusions that I discovered during this painful conversation a little while back. The most important relationships in our lives are not the easy relationships. Easy relationships don't challenge us to grow, and they are ultimately unsatisfying. No, our best relationships are the ones that take hard work, that require us to be determined, that take a significant commitment of our time. And the same goes with our relationship with God. It will always be a challenging one if we are legitimately engaging with it. And it will require us to put in copious amounts of time. And that is part of that answer of why we are here today. We are doing the important work of putting in the time. But we must not stop here. I think if we are to have a goal for the remainder of Advent, it is to keep putting in copious amount of time to our relationship with God. And we must spend a lot of time, particularly this week, reverently praying for a deeper answer to, what did we come to see?